welcome back to my channel. It is your girl Lady Niqua, and today we're going to be talking about a disease that affects millions of people, not just in the country but in the entire world, and that is going to be diabetes. And so I'm going to include some quick facts about diabetes, since there are two types. There's type 1 and there's type 2, and I'm going to throw some quick facts in there just so you can get a small idea of what the disease is and the differences between the two. And so without further ado, let's get right into the video. The type 1 diabetes affects about 1.6 million people in the US and can be triggered by any virus, including a cold. Most people with type 1 diabetes are diagnosed in the year as children, and people who have type 1 diabetes require insulin. So for type 2 diabetes, more than 1 in every 10 adults has diabetes. Exercise and weight loss reduce the risk of prediabetes becoming type 2 diabetes by 58%. Over 25% of adults over 65 have diabetes, and 90 to 95% of people with diabetes have type 2. So everyone, I wanted to make this video today because, again, diabetes is a serious health condition that affects millions of people in this world. And diabetes has affected my family. It is part of my family medical history on my mother's side, and it even affected me personally, specifically last year. July of 2020, I found out that I was pre-diabetic. And what being pre-diabetic means is that my blood sugar was high, not necessarily high where I would have developed type 2 diabetes, but it was high and it was a risk. And so what doctors would like is that I'll put a picture here showing how the chart is measured. Doctors would like people to be at a 5.7 or lower. 6.1 means you're at risk, and 6.4 means you have developed diabetes, specifically type 2. Most people develop type 2 diabetes in their adult life. And so I wanted to really share my experience and my journey with it, and how it was a wake-up call for me. It also was a huge eye-opener. When I look back, I realized that I wasn't taking care of my body. I was eating a lot of junk food. I was smoking cigarettes at the time, and I had a very, very poor diet. And again, I wasn't working out. Exercise, it wasn't happening. So I had to make a lot of changes and realize, okay, if you keep going, you're gonna develop diabetes and you're going to affect your health permanently. And the biggest symptom actually that made me reach out to my doctor in the first place was skin discoloration. So I had skin discoloration around the neck area. I had some on my face, and that ultimately is what made me reach out to my doctor and say, hey doc, I'm concerned. I have all these new changes happening on my skin. What's going on? So my doctor ordered a blood test. Specifically, it's called a hemoglobin A1C blood test. So that tests to see how much sugar is in your blood. And so again, that is how I learned of my condition. So I made the changes as soon as possible for most of them. So I gave up cigarettes. I quit cold turkey. I quit soda cold turkey. Now, as far as food diet, that one's been a little bit more challenging. That one I had to do slowly and take my time with, but I did make the changes. I put more vegetables in my diet. I also started cutting back on how much junk food I was eating. So burgers, ice cream, cookies, I had to cut it all back. I also started cooking with turkey meat instead of red meat as a healthier alternative. I also cut out dairy milk because I love dairy milk, and I switched to almond milk, which has also been a really good change and a good adjustment. And I realized just how out of shape I was when I started working out again. So before I graduated high school, I used to do cheer. I was a cheerleader, I was a gymnast, and I could crunch out 50 push-ups like nothing. Well, when I started working out again, I realized that I could barely do one push-up. So it really also opened my eye to just how out of shape I had been for years. And even when I was in my cheer days, I was physically fit, because I worked out a lot. I had a routine, but again, I still had a poor diet. So again, I wasn't eating all the right foods. I kept putting all that garbage into my body, even though physically I stayed in shape. And now that I'm 25 years old, I realized, one, I can't think like that anymore. I can't do those things anymore. I need to get healthy for me, and I need to think about my body. And also another thing I had to learn was really listen to your body. And your body tells you it's full, listen and stop eating, if you choose to, or if you can or can't. And if you're, if something's not sitting right with your body, it's going to let you know. And so that was also a huge lesson for me, was learning to listen to my body and what it's telling me. I also had to proportion myself and learn to cut back and not eat so much right off the bat. And that was a huge thing for me, because I used to get big plates of food, right? And my doctor was like, you could eat what you want, just cut back a little bit, dial it back a little bit. You don't have to eat so much at once. And so that was another change that I had to make, was proportions. And I also started including more vegetables in my diet, making sure that I was eating vegetables as much as I was eating junk food. So 6-7 days a week, try to eat vegetables. And overall, it's been a big change for me, but it was a necessary change. It was an important change, and it's been a good change. I also started taking B12 vitamins to help with my energy, because I used to feel so sluggish and weak and exhausted and so out of breath. So taking the B12 vitamins gave me energy that I've almost never had. And that's also been a huge help. Overall, I definitely have seen the change. I also got my blood tested again. My doctor ordered me to get tested every 6 months. And so my first test was in July, which is when I received my diagnosis, with my blood sugar at a 6.1. My test that I just did in January, my blood sugar was at a 5.8, which is great. So my changes have been working, but I'm not in the clear just yet. And so I need to continue on the path that I'm on. And if I can get my blood sugar lower than a 5.7, then I will be in the clear as far as not being at risk for diabetes. But overall, my goal is to remain healthy and to still stay in shape. And so I wanted to make this video to not only share some information, spread awareness, and just share my journey and my story of what, I had to learn and what I needed to do to help me get right, to get healthy. And so I also recommend, again, talk to your doctor and get yourself checked out and find out, because sometimes a lot of the times we don't know there's something wrong until we get tested or checked out. Sometimes we can be asymptomatic. And so for me, the skin discoloration was a big symptom, but there's more than one symptom for diabetes, and it varies. My doctor explained that skin discoloration could be a sign of insulin resistance, which is the most common issue when it comes to diabetes, is your body's resisting insulin. And so that is what, again, ultimately made me reach out and schedule an appointment. And so, again, I always say, speak to your doctor and find out. Also, do your own research. There's so much information out there. Nutritionists, even nutritionists, let me know to how I can make healthy changes with my diet. And also, they even told me you don't have to completely cut out everything that you were eating. Again, just find a healthier alternative. So I started eating Smart Choice meals, the lean cuisine meals, to help out with my slow change, because again, I had more of a challenge with my diet. And so my overall goal, again, is to just share awareness, to share my story and experience, and just hope that, I will have taught you guys something. And I'm still learning myself. And, if there's something that I might have missed, definitely let me know, because this is a serious conversation and they need to be had. And so I just want to, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys all watching. I appreciate your support. And I thank you just for hearing my story and sharing, my journey and my experience with me. I definitely was hesitant about putting it out here, but it's important, because a lot of us can relate, and some of us may not be able to relate, but now you have a newfound sympathy or understanding for somebody's situation. And I also want to mention, I forgot to mention this earlier, my good cholesterol. My good cholesterol was also low. My good cholesterol was at a 35. It should be 50 and up. And so with my good cholesterol being low, that puts me at risk for heart disease when I get older. And for African Americans, heart disease is a little bit more prevalent than it is in other races. And so plant-based diet and cardio workouts are one of the best ways you can get your good cholesterol up. And overall, I had to say that working out again has been nothing but a challenge, but it is necessary, and overall it is good for me. I'm also going to the gym, so I go to the gym and I do a lot of my workouts at home. And overall, they have changed my life. And so I'm definitely gonna just keep going and staying healthy, and just, continue to encourage anybody and everybody to, again, stay healthy, take care of your body, and take care of yourself. And I'm just glad that I was able to make the changes needed before I could have done more damage. If I never sought out my doctor, I probably would have developed type 2 diabetes by this point in my life. And so I'm definitely thankful for my doctor. I'm thankful for the support that I received, and I'm proud of myself for doing what I needed to get healthier. But my journey is not over yet. It only goes up from here. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. And I love all of you, and I appreciate all your support. And remember to just stay blessed, stay safe, and I will see you for next week's video. Bye-bye.